Hey friends, Amanda here at Bare Bones Living, and today I just wanted to talk to you about the seeds that I ordered this year and what my garden is possibly going to be looking like this year and how things are going to be different for me this year. And I say different because things definitely are going to be different this year. And that is because not only will I have a newborn, but we are also trying to move to Tennessee this year. And so that means that for my garden, I don't want to put a bunch of plants into the garden spaces that I have currently, because I don't think that we'll be here long enough to harvest any of the plants that I grow. So what I'm going to do to combat that is I'm going to be planting everything in grow bags. And now I have grown in grow bags for a couple of years now. I've tried multiple different kinds of grow bags, and I can tell you that by far my favorite are the Bootstrap Farmer grow bags. I have bought the 7-gallon grow bags in the past, and that seems to be a pretty good size for me. I can put 1 tomato in there or 1 pepper plant. I've planted lettuce in there. And I like to plant lots of heads of lettuce because I've found that for me they grow better in close proximity to each other, especially when they're younger. And I should make a caveat to this, is that the lettuce plants, when I have them in there, are young. And so when they're young and more floppy and they're just not as strong of a plant, I find that they grow better with the sides of the grow bag to help protect them, and their growing mates next to them that they can use their surrounding support basically to grow up and get a little bit stronger, and then I take them out of there. Or I just grow them as leaf lettuce and keep them in there. But anyway, I've grown lots of things in grow bags before. You guys have seen me grow in grow bags before. My problem with grow bags is that, or has been in the past, is that I've planted starts in there. You know, I do my starts like normal. I put my starts in the bag. Everything is great and dandy. And then the true gardening season comes along and I put starts out in my garden, and I have, a fairly large garden for my suburban property, and I just get overrun with the duties of my in-ground gardens or my flower beds or garden beds that I have made, and the potted plants or the grow bag plants just get neglected. I don't support them the way that I should. I don't fertilize them as I should. And so that's been my downfall. But this year I don't have a choice. And so I'm going to be really diligent on my grow bag this year. I'm going to be very attentive to it. I'm determined because I don't have a choice, and I won't have really anything in my garden beds in my yard. I'm going to be placing the grow bags. If you guys look back in some videos, you'll see that we just built a new patio garden space, and I'm going to actually be putting the grow bags in like setting them on the soil of my patio garden beds. And I'm gonna possibly use the trellis, the cattle panel trellis that I have in my garden bed for the tomatoes or cucumbers that I'm growing while I'm here. We'll just see how long we're here for, and how much growth I get out of them. But I'm thinking because I won't have anything else growing except for these bags, I will be able to maintain them. And then I'll have to deal with moving them when the time comes. But because of that, really, I have no idea what my garden's going to look like this year. And I really kind of struggled with planning for this year's garden because I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know when we will move. I don't know where we'll move. I don't really know if we'll move. And I say that, but I do know that we will move. I just don't know when. So it was kind of hard for me to select varieties and plants that I wanted to grow this year that would do okay in pots, and I guess we'll just see how it all goes. I'm also, I think you guys have heard me say in a couple of videos that I have altered what I'm going to be growing this year and what's important to me this year. And that is really more of the staples. The staples that we have in our kitchen, staples that we use every day, and less of the fun ornamental things. Although I did still get a couple of those for future hopes and promises. So I did a little bit of responsible seed purchasing, and then I also did a little bit of some fun seed purchasing as well, and wishful thinking. One day, or maybe hopefully this year, if we can get to our new property at a soon enough time, I could possibly grow these things that I don't have the space for currently. So let me show you what I purposefully purchased this year. So some of the things that I really wanted to focus on, like I said, are the staples. So I got, and I have these already, but I got some more, are carrots. I think I have like 3 or 4 varieties of carrots. But I'm running low on a lot of carrots, and I've never really given carrots a fair shot, I would say. I never really try to grow a whole lot. I usually allot like a little row in my garden bed, just one row that I'll do, 2 or 3 lines of carrots, and amongst other things, they tend to get drowned out, and I don't really pay attention to them. And carrots are the one thing that my family goes through on a weekly basis. We use lots of carrots. We use carrots in our cooking. We use carrots in our shakes. We like to just eat and munch on carrots as well. So I decided that, and I was buying, last year I bought 25 pounds of carrots from Azure, and we made our way through that. And then in a week, we can go through like a bundle of carrots in a week or two with our shakes and with recipes. So I want to buy less carrots. I don't, I'm trying to get away from the store or needing to buy carrots. So I got some more carrots. I got, I don't even know how to say these, new Kyoto carrots. And most of these seeds are from Baker Creek. And these ones, I thought I was going to be able to plant my carrots in my garden beds, and I thought maybe this would be one of the things that I could actually plant in my garden beds. But I think they're just too long of a day. I can't. Doesn't say how many days on here. But I think when I was looking into it, it was just too long to maturity. And we would really like to get out of here by June. So just to cover our bases, I'm just going to keep them in the pots. They should grow fine in the pots. And this particular carrot, can't remember why I chose this one. It says it can power through tough soil and blistering heat, so that's good. It's a Japanese carrot. It intrigued me, so I got that. Kyoto Red Carrot. I'm assuming that is another Japanese, Japanese sweet carrot. And I'm also wanting, my boys are getting older. They can kind of handle eating a hard carrot. Hunter could, but Cole was a little too young the past couple of gardening seasons, so I only let him eat cooked carrots. But I would like, they're both very interested in coming to the garden with me, so I would love for them to have a snack other than tomatoes in the garden. And then this is a coral carrot. This one says 75 days. So that would not be before June. It's good for heavy soils, and it's supposed to be extremely productive. And then lastly, I got this Pusa Aceta black carrot, a tropical black carrot. And this is from India. It's heat tolerant, extremely rich in antioxidants, perfect for hot summers. This obviously takes much longer to come to full size before harvest. And we are moving to a climate that is much warmer. So I liked that it was perfect for hot summers. It has anthocyanins in it. So those are always nice and nutritious. Plus they're fun to look at. I've gotten purple carrots before. But like I said, I was not a good steward of carrots before, so I really wanted to give them a fair shake. I also have some pelletized carrots, and this by no means is all the seeds that I'm going to be growing this year or all the seeds that I have. This is just what I purposefully bought for this year. So then I have lettuces, and this tatsoi I have bought before, and this is Hunter's absolute favorite green. It was so cute. I don't know if you guys can tell by the picture, but there are multiple, like the inner part of this head. I never grew it as like a head of lettuce. I grew it more as like a small cut and come again microgreens kind of a thing, and I called them Hunter sized, and he just absolutely loved them. They're really sweet, small, spoon shaped greens. And it says a signature mellow, almost creamy flavor, and I would say that that is very fair. Okay. Is very fair to what they taste like, and if you guys know toddlers, anytime you can get them to eat greens, it's a win. So we had used them all before, so I made sure to get some more of those. And then my free seed packet, I was crossing my fingers really, really hard for this, is I really wanted to try this Merlot lettuce. I love growing lettuce. Obviously in Chicago, lettuce is one of the things that we can grow pretty much year round here. If you have a greenhouse or something like that, and I have wanted to try Merlot lettuce. I've never grown it before. But I didn't want to buy a seed packet of it because I was really trying to budget this year. So I was trying to budget what I was actually going to be purchasing this year. And I saw on Facebook a lot that this was the packet that people were getting as their free seed packet. So I just made the decision to cross my fingers really hard and hope and pray that I would get them so I could try it. And I'm hoping it's going to go over great, and then I will just buy my own or sprout my own seeds. So that's the lettuce that I grew. For cucumbers, I got a Chicago pickling cucumber. And I got this because I am from Chicago, and I have never grown a Chicago pickling cucumber. And I have grown pickling cucumbers, but I have grown the national pickling cucumber. And those have actually gotten fairly big for what I would consider to be a good pickle size number to get to, and the fact that there is a Chicago pickling cucumber, I felt that it was only fair that I try it out since I am from Chicago and I will be growing it in Chicago. So I figured while I'm still in Chicago, I should try a Chicago pickling cucumber. I also got another free seed packet of these Bait Alpha cucumbers, and I actually purchased these cucumbers before, and I've grown them for years. And they're not a bad cucumber, but they're not my favorite. where I think that these would be really good. There it is, the bait alpha. I think that these would be a really good use in a greenhouse. They're self-pollinating, so that's kind of cool. They're for slicing and pickling, and I would not purchase them probably again, but since I got them for free, whatever, that's fine. I got this Paprika Pepper so that I can grow my own paprika peppers and make my own paprika powder. And I actually had a hard time finding paprika peppers. So, and this is a Hungarian paprika. So I'm excited to try that. And then I of course got a few tomato varieties. I really wanted to try the Paul Robson tomato. It is a Russian variety, and I've just heard a lot about it, and I've never tasted it or grown it, so I really wanted to try that. Comes highly recommended. The Abe Lincoln Tomato, which again, being from Chicago or being from Illinois, Abe Lincoln. And I figured I might as well give these a shot while I'm still in Chicago. And they're, I think, pretty large slicers. It says slicer or canner. So I really wanted to try those, give those a shot. Some Dr. Weich's, which I have grown every year for the past 3 or 4 years. And these actually grow really well for me. The plants do really well in my environment. They are fairly productive. On the back of the description of this, it says productive with an exclamation point. I would have to say that that is true. They're definitely one of the largest tomatoes that I grow. And it's just a little bit of a different flavor. I really enjoy these on a tomato sandwich, or just as a different flavor. They say that they're tangerine orange fruit. I guess that's more just the color. They call it a tropical sweet taste. I don't know that I would call it tropical, but they are sweet. And then I really wanted to try these black strawberry grape tomatoes. And I believe these are new to the line this year. And they just looked super, super pretty. I don't know if you can see this on there, but they're a really cool coloring. They're kind of marbled with the red and the purple in there. They look like gems. They're a sweet tart balance. Productive early variety. Marble, blue, scarlet, and gold. So they're just supposed to be really pretty in your bowl. And who doesn't like a good cherry tomato? So I wanted to try those. And then I got some other odds and ends. These first two things I don't think I'm going to start growing in the spring because I don't have the room or the trellising for them. First, the Loofah Gourd. I knew that I definitely wanted to grow these in the future. And I'm all about homemade products and homemade acquired things. And these Loofah Gourds, like, you can make other products. You can use them as a loofah. Like, it's just very appealing to me. So I'm really hoping. It says, doesn't say how long it takes to grow, but it is a gourd, so I would assume it's a long variety. If I can get to our new property in a timely manner, I can try growing these. But I knew I just wanted to have them on hand, and if not this year, then definitely next year, and I'll already have them in stock. So I'm really excited about loofahs. These butterfly peas, they're Thai double blue butterfly peas. And these I just got as a novelty. For one, they're gorgeous. These beautiful blue flowers. I think they'll be great for pollinators. They'll be great for us to look at. They're ornamental. But also, one of the great things about Baker Creek is that they write really good descriptions of their seeds, of their products, and how to use them. And one of the things that caught my attention with these is that people take the actual flower petals and put them into drinks for their kids, and it dyes their drink that blue purpley color. And it's just something fun for the kids. I don't think that it is an edible flower. Indigo petals, and you can make it's a natural food dye and soothing tea to calm your nerves. So I can make tea out of this. I can use it to dye things, drinks, food, whatever, and it's just beautiful. So I really, really am excited for these, but I do need a trellis for them. So I don't believe I'll be growing these this year. And then also another thing that I won't be able to grow or start here, but I wanted to have it on hand, is sweet corn. And I got this Damon KS Super Sweet Corn. A superior sweet corn. It's from Germany, very sweet, early variety bearing large yellow kernels. So it just sounds like a nice sweet corn. I have 0 room in my current garden for these. But I'm really excited to do some in-ground. My next garden, I want to have a big in-ground garden space where I can be growing, vining things like watermelon. I don't have room for watermelons or pumpkins, or usually I can pick like a pumpkin or a melon to grow in my yard. I grew sugar pie pumpkins 2 years ago. Last year I grew a couple of watermelons, but I don't have enough where I put them. I didn't have enough sun and I didn't really get much, but again, I wanted to have these on hand. They are 85 to 95 days, so depending on when we get down there, I might be able to grow these, but I wanted to have them. And then something that I will grow is this Kelway Golden Chamomile, and this is a perennial chamomile. And it's a golden chamomile. I have chamomile in my pollinator garden. I have white, but it's the white chamomile, German chamomile. And I have more seeds for that, so I just thought it would be pretty to have this golden chamomile to go along with it. I love chamomile. The pollinators love chamomile. I like to look at it. I like to use it medicinally. I like to make teas out of it. And it just looks and smells beautiful. So I wanted to get this as a little mate to that. I think that would be really pretty. And then more of my, along the lines of my sustainability purchases, is I really want to grow some celery. I have grown Chinese celery from Baker Creek, the pink Chinese celery, every year for the past like 4 years. And it's done okay for me, and I've gotten some celery. But again, just similar to the carrots, I've just kind of stuck it into a couple of places. Haven't really devoted space to it or to large harvests. I've always gotten really small celery stalks and small bunches that you could barely call a bunch. And it's never been anything really substantial or anything that I could, you know, freeze multiple bags of and have on hand. And I tried growing like a Utah celery variety, and I had 0 success with germinating the seeds that I got. Could have just been the one variety that I got, or that, you know, bunch of seeds that I got, or my lack of experience growing celery, but it never worked out for me. I could only get the Chinese celery, to grow. So I looked around online for celeries that were good. It says great for beginners. I am not a beginner gardener, but I am fairly new to growing celery, and I wanted something that was going to be easy and was more of like a surefire thing, since I had so much difficulty with the Utah celery, which is just like a regular green celery. I wanted something that was a more surefire bet, so I got this Tango Celery. And I saw, like, I typed in to Google, like, easiest celery to grow and things like that, and this is what came up repeatedly. It says that it's prolific, crunchy yields, large yields, great for beginners, does well in the heat. So I went with what the people told me. And this seems to be a favorite for people that are looking for suggestions for growing celery. So I'm really excited to grow these. I also saw that growing them in pots or bags or things with sides would help these to stalk up. And since I'm growing everything in bags anyway, I thought that that would be helpful. And I'd really like to, you know, replace my celery that I need to go buy. I hate when I come across a recipe and I'm like, ugh, I don't have that. So I'd really like to have homegrown celery on hand. And I hear that homegrown carrots and homegrown celery taste totally different. I've had a carrot here and there, but again, they were really dinky, and I don't think that they were the best carrots that I could have ever grown. I haven't had any that were like, oh my god, these are so great. But I'm really hoping with my new desire to be growing staple things, and really kind of focusing down my garden because I don't want to be taking 100 pots of plants 3 states away. I'm really excited to be trying to grow more specific things and being more intentional, while still bringing fun things and beautiful things into my garden, and kind of being in this limbo of what will be next and not knowing. I'm just kind of trying to take a back seat to it, go along for the ride, not be too worried about it. But really still excited for this garden season and getting the things that I know my family will love and use and save me money on later. And then, like I said, I'm hoping for a big in-ground garden space that I can grow in our next home. So I can grow things like corn and gourds. I've never been able to grow. I have a few varieties of winter squash that I'm really excited to grow, that I've tried to grow here. And like I said, I just don't have space. And even when I did get a fruit to come about on my winter squash or a watermelon that I was able to get to fruit, I don't have really a fence. My backyard is fenced in, but a pest would get to it, or my dog would get to it, or something like that. So I really want to have a protected garden with a large in-ground garden space. And I'm excited for the possibilities for that. Grow some winter squash, grow some watermelons, grow things that bramble I did order. This is not all that I ordered. I also ordered some potatoes because that's another staple. But those, of course, will not get shipped until probably April. Sweet potatoes as well. And then I also bought a hybrid Meyer lemon tree, which I'm excited about. And you can grow it in a pot. It's a hybrid. And I figure if I can get it to start growing now, I'll just be that much more ahead of the game for when we move. So I'm excited for that. But that, again, will not ship until later. And I think that's all that I ordered that hasn't come in yet. I got a lot. I did the Roots and Refuge seed swap this year that I'd never done before. And I got a lot of really cool seeds from that. A lot of watermelons that I'm excited to try. I also got the Habanada pepper seed that I was really wanting. And that is a not hot habanero pepper, so that you can get the flavor of the habanero but without the heat, because I have children. Really wanted to try that. And I think that's about all the new stuff that I got. Oh, I also did the M.I. Gardner grab bag at the end of last year when they were available. I got some really cool varieties in that. I don't know that I'll actually be growing any of those seeds this year, just because they're not seeds that I picked out, and they are not necessarily things that my family, they're not staples. but I'm so excited. I was so excited to get a lot of those. I got a lot of sunflowers in there and some other really pretty things, so that was really exciting. If you guys didn't get a chance to try that and he does it again, I would highly, highly suggest doing it. I'm going to be growing onions, which I have quite a few varieties of onions that I grow every year. But again, I have small space that I allot it to. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of bunching onions this year because those are faster to harvest and things like that. Those are another staple thing. My shallots always do great. That's like my #1 onion to produce. I have a bowl behind me in the kitchen full of shallots still that I harvested from, I don't know, August or whatever, that I plan on skinning and chopping and freezing so that they don't sprout. That's on my list of things to do. So I'll be growing those again. And yeah. So if you guys have any questions, or either with what I'm growing, how I'm gonna grow it, please let me know. I will be showing you guys the things that I am going to be growing and the seeds that I will be starting. I'll bring you guys along with me. You can also look back at my other videos and see how I grow things in my grow bags. If you're interested right now, I'll link that to this video. And I think that's it for now. But I'm really excited for this garden season. I'm really excited to be preserving really good food for my family. And thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Thank you guys for stopping by today and joining in on our journey here at Bare Bones Living. We'll catch you on the next one.